American Top 40.
This is Kasem on American Top 40. Now our AT40 special. The number one song of 5 years ago was produced by a former disc jockey named Quinn Ivy, who had gone into business in Sheffield, Alabama with a record store and a recording studio. One day a young soul singer from Layton, Alabama walked into the store and introduced himself, and he said a friend had referred him. Well, Quinn handed the singer a sheet of music and asked him to try it out, expecting the young man to go home, rehearse for a couple of days, then come back and audition. But the singer just stood there for several seconds, studying the music. Then he looked up and sang the song. Quinn said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" The singer said, "I'm loose." Quinn said, "Let's cut a record." They did. And a few weeks later, it had busted the charts to become the number one song of exactly 5 years ago today. When a Man Loves a Woman. Here's Percy Sledge.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Kasem. What we're doing today is counting down the 100 biggest hits of 1991. And coming in at number 47 is a remake of a soul classic originally done by Percy Sledge, a man who once made beds and fed patients in an Alabama hospital. In his spare time, he sang, and in 1966, he wrote and recorded this song that went all the way to number one. A quarter century later, this song was back at number one, this time sung by a singer from Connecticut named Michael Bolton.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Big hits, hot stars on our way to number one. Well, now we're up to an American Top 10 Extra, a hit by Percy Sledge, a singer who got his big break working in a hospital. It was back in the late 50s. Percy Sledge had been working as a field hand in his hometown of Layton, Alabama. The work was backbreaking, and when Percy was offered the chance to work as an orderly at Colbert County Hospital in nearby Sheffield, he jumped at it. Yet, he found the work just as hard at the hospital as it had been in the fields. But just as he'd done in the fields, Percy kept his spirits up by singing to himself. One of the patients at the hospital liked the sound of Percy singing, and so the patient asked a friend to drop by. That friend was Quinn Ivy, a successful producer. Quinn thought Percy had promise, and so he went from working in the hospital to singing on demos. Demos that eventually landed him a record deal. Now, with an extra on American Top 10, here's Percy Sledge with the classic from 1966, When a Man Loves a Woman. 1966, that's Percy Sledge with an American Top 10 Extra. His number one pop smash, the classic When a Man Loves a Woman.